Al B. Sure. Calls for an investigation into death of Diddy's ex Kim Porter. In a four-part, sometimes cryptic Instagram post, the 90s hitmaker and former flame of the late model actress suggests her death was not from natural causes and calls for an investigation. A week after the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs, New Jack Swing singer Al B. Sure took to Instagram to detail what he claims is a vast conspiracy around the 2018 death of model-turned-actress Kim Porter, his former flame and then, after their split, the on-off partner of the freshly incarcerated mogul, whose supposed knowledge of his alleged trafficking led to her death, the R&B singer suggests in his call for an investigation. Sure, whose given name is Albert Joseph Brown, detailed what he says was the work of multiple individuals surrounding Porter at the time of her death from lobar pneumonia. In the 4 posts, which feature images of the former couple and pages from her memoir, Brown refers to Porter's 2018 death as a tragic murder. In a nutshell, Kimberly was allegedly taken from us because she was set on course to accomplish what Mrs. Cassie Ventura did by igniting the bonfire, which brings us here today, Brown wrote. In his call for a probe by authorities, Brown suggests that everyone who was around Porter's home, particularly any publicists, should be questioned by law enforcement as he accuses them of a conspiracy to prevent Porter's from being published. He alleges this involved swapping the pages of her book with others so inflammatory details were never published. The book, Kim's Lost Words, A Journey for Justice, From the Other Side, was reportedly saved on a hard drive by Porter and spirited to LA record producer Chris Todd, who released it on Amazon.com on September 6. The Daily Mail reports that the book was published and edited by Todd, using the pseudonym Jamal T. Millwood. I was lucky enough to meet someone that purported to have Kim Porter's flash drive, Todd told DailyMail.com, adding that he knows the celebrity source of the drive well. Brown, for his part, claims he learned about what Porter intended to include in her memoir from frequent and intimate conversations in her selfless attempts to save my life. Brown also claims that he has been ignored by authorities for years while attempting to expose the alleged cover-up and was even medically silenced as he worked to expose the truth. In 2023, he fell into a coma after being intubated while hospitalized for multiple illnesses. He received a liver transplant and survived the ordeal, which he described on Instagram as multiple system organ failure, septic, intubated, on a ventilator for 38 days, and forced to visit death's doorstep. Porter was found dead in her home in Toluca Lake, California in 2018 after days of flu-like symptoms. The coroner initially listed Porter's cause of death as deferred, but later changed it to lobar pneumonia. Porter dated Combs sporadically through 2017. In addition to the 3 children she and Combs shared, Christian Combs and twins, Delila, and Jesse Combs, Porter had a son, Quincy Brown, with Brown. In his 4 Instagram posts, Brown refers to allegedly stolen notes meant to go into Porter's memoir and makes claims that her devices, including a computer, have disappeared, suggesting some sort of cover-up surrounding the book and her death. Brown's mentions of Ventura and a recently released public indictment document further suggest in a not subtle manner that Combs is involved in Porter's death, seemingly to silence certain details in her memoir. Ms. Porter's missing devices, allegedly already in evidence, unquestionably contain the critical evidence that have been concealed. I'm convinced that evidence corroborates closely with details outlined in the recently released public indictment document. Additionally, it is pertinent to note that the individuals involved in this matter may also be connected to also concealing the alleged murders of several prominent artists, Brown wrote, adding cryptically that many were bewildered, but entertainment industry insiders should have a clearer understanding of the obvious. Erica Wolf, an attorney for Combs, wrote in response to an email seeking comment from The Hollywood Reporter that the book is a fabrication and disrespectful to Porter's legacy. The Kim Porter memoir is fake. It is also offensive, a shameless attempt to profit from tragedy. Chris Todd has no respect for Ms. Porter or her family, who deserve better, Wolf wrote in the statement. Unlike the fabrications in his sickening memoir, it is an established fact that Ms. Porter died of natural causes. May she rest in peace. The Kim Porter memoir is only the tip of the Diddy conspiracy iceberg. A book supposedly by the embattled music mogul's late partner has been dismissed by those close to Porter as a fake. That didn't stop it from topping the Amazon charts and providing a glimpse of the growing cultural paranoia surrounding the case. By Dan Adler. September 27, 2024. Last January, late on a Saturday night, I received an email from someone writing under the name Investigator LA, who was eager to pass along a revelation. A 59-page book billed on Amazon is a memoir by Kim Porter, the deceased ex-girlfriend of Sean Diddy Combs, with whom she shared 3 children as well as a son from a prior marriage whom Combs adopted. When prosecutors announced sex trafficking and racketeering charges against the hip-hop mogul, it set off an understandable wave of intrigue and, given his Epstein-like tentacles surrounding fame and wealth. According to Todd, the memoir is based on a flash drive that Porter had left behind after her 2018 death, which also contained tapes of Diddy with celebrities in sexual situations. He said he received portions of the drive from a celebrity source, who is very close inside the Diddy and Kim and hip-hop circles, and who had joined forces with another hip-hop source to bring these materials to Todd's manager. Todd moved to Los Angeles from Connecticut about 20 years ago, he told me, pursuing work in film and television before shifting his efforts to investigating murders. He declined to say how he makes his living, except that it was from a small business unrelated to this kind of work, and demanded that I not publish his real name, which is fairly similar to Chris Todd. Kim's lost words is pulpy beyond the point of parody, with a camp appeal diminished by the real-life stakes of an unfolding criminal case. The author recounts a litany of abuse and violence and lays out an elaborate series of partner swaps and sexual experimentation involving an array of celebrities. Porter's alleged memoir concludes with her appearing to predict her own murder as she falls ill and texts friends, "He got me." Versions of this theory have swirled in gossip circles since Porter's sudden death from pneumonia at 47 years old. In the last year, since Combs was first accused of abuse, they have taken on a renewed urgency online. In an appearance on the hip-hop media personality DJ Academics' podcast in April, Donald Trump Jr. puffed on a cigar as he recounted a conversation with his ex-wife Vanessa Trump, a friend of Porter's from their New York modeling days, in which Vanessa said that she did not believe that Porter's death was just natural.
Yeah, no, it's just gone. You know what I mean? And so,
is that rich privilege, or is that like, hey, listen?
No, that's more. That's like he's got shit on people privilege, and like as long as they're working that, like it feels to me like there's no parties. I was there, right? Like, not those parts. So not me directly, but it's my ex-wife actually she was a model in New York, and like she was really good friends with Kim Porter, who was Diddy's wife, the one who died at 47 from pneumonia, and it was like,
that's
and when that happened, she called me, and this is a couple of years ago now, maybe not even, a couple of years ago, and she called me like, something's up with that. I go, what do you mean? She's like, oh, dude, Kim used to tell me like, it was a bad, like, there's a lot of weird shit that I didn't even know that, like, but they were like, they'd do photo shoots together or whatever. They were sort of friendly. Like they'd hang out. Like we'd see them out downtown, and like I'd hang out with her. Not so much with Dad. I think it was already sort of over there, but like she was really afraid of him, and it
really,
like this goes back years, and so like, and she was having these conversations with my ex. I was like, I don't know what like.
A lot of people believe that whatever happened there happened with the woman afterwards, which was Cassie, and it's supposed to.
No, like I said, like I didn't. You sort of don't think about these things until now. You go back and you're like, holy, like I distinctly remember when Vanessa was like, calls me, was like, hey man, Kim Porter died. I go, what? Like we saw her like a couple of weeks, whatever it was, and she goes, yeah man, she was sort of always in fear of something happening. And I was like, maybe it's natural, but like not a lot of people die at 47 of pneumonia. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, wow. Especially people, obviously good shape.
There's a shit ton of rumors.
Again, and I'm actually not trying to fuel any kind of rumor, but I definitely, like, that's a conversation I had. Like, someone who knew her well, was like friend, like they text, like, was like, something. She was like, something, she's like, something, she did not believe that was just natural.
That's the thing about that, because, and I guess that's also, it kind of leads into, some people are saying, hey, he's a Jeffrey Epstein of hip hop, and then also when it comes to that, people are like, well, did no one know until it got too late?
That's the problem. I think so many people, like,
Porter's ex-husband Albert Joseph Brown, the new jack swing singer and 1980s era Quincy Jones protege known as Al B. Shore, has taken a similar tack since the rise of Kim's lost words. He and Porter talked right up to a few days prior to her demise. He wrote in a 3-part Instagram statement calling for an investigation into what he claims was her murder. The Los Angeles County Department of Medical Examiner coroner determined in January 2019 that Porter died from lobar pneumonia. In a nutshell, Kimberly was allegedly taken from us, Brown went on, so that she could not precipitate the avalanche that has brought Satan to their chambers. Still, he insisted that the supposed memoir was fake, at least partially, and threatened legal action against its creators. Brown allowed that there was such a thing as original book notes, from which a fake unauthorized edit was gleaned. I'm willing to have a conversation with Al B. Sure, absolutely, Todd said. If he wants to escalate it, then I have ways that I can escalate it too. Porter's friends and family, including Combs through his attorney, have rejected the book as wholesale fabrication. One friend whom I spoke to took issue with both Todd and Brown. Somebody has written a book full of shit, LaWanda Lane said, and it's all lies. She and Porter met in the 1980s when Lane was working at Motown Records. Porter was dating Brown, whom Andre Harrell, Combs' one-time mentor, then managed, and Lane and some industry colleagues went to have dinner with them. She and Porter lived together for over 20 years and took care of each other's children throughout their lives. Lane was certain that Porter couldn't even work a computer like that. Brown is full of shit in regard to his claims about Porter's death and wasn't in Quincy's life like that, she said, referring to his and Porter's son. And you can repeat what I said. Most of all, Lane objected to the depictions of Combs abusing Porter. If he had thrown a chair at her, she said, as alleged in the book, she would have killed him. I stand by this book 100%, Todd said, and we have new stuff that we're going to start dropping here any minute. In Porter's final days, according to Lane, Lane's daughter sat by her side as she grew sicker. Lane said she talked to Porter 12 hours before her death. So I mean, this guy, whoever he is, she said, how do you write a book full of lies? Todd initially expressed some hesitation about speaking to a reporter, but ultimately seemed quite pleased about the airtime.
As you leave the page, don't forget to hit the like bell and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching.